Well, hello, and thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to be watching Amber as we trudge ever forward into the kingdom of Girl World. Today it's Cracker Barrel Gate and no longer weighing in or counting calories. Oh my god.
Hey guys, welcome to another weigh-in video. All right, let's get straight into the questions. How has your BE improved? So I noticed, even though I did outpatient for only a few months, I noticed that like the tools, the knowledge, and the things that I talked about in outpatient during that time started helping me. But
Well, hasn't helped you lose any weight.
genuinely, all the credit goes to the 9 months of therapy I did with a psychologist when I was gonna get weight loss surgery. I was only supposed to see that psychologist for 3 months, but I kept going because it genuinely
Because they made you.
was like changing my life, and it still has. Like, that's a psychologist that diagnosed me with BPD. Now I'm aware, and that's like the first thing that you need to do when you're a borderline is you need to have that awareness, because without the awareness, you're like, what's the
um, Here's my debate with Amber. I've never fully been convinced of either way. So either she is completely delusional and she has convinced herself that she's this unique fat person that does everything right, but based on circumstances above and beyond her control, she can't change. Or she's 100% in on the joke, in on the troll, and knows exactly what she's doing and is purposely putting herself in this prison of a body. Neither one of them really makes sense, and one maybe they're both true at the same time, as she likes to say, but for her to sit here and act like, "No, guys, I'm totally with it and self-aware, and yeah, okay, well, you don't seem like it."
problem? There's nothing wrong with me. You can have tiny little moments of like, okay, something seems off. What's wrong with me? But I don't really know what. It's the awareness that really helps. All right, let's not talk about that though. That's not what this video is about. That psychologist genuinely like changed my life. Yes, I still overeat. Yes, I still have issues, but the BE, like,
Obviously.
I don't do that. I'm not saying I'm perfect by any means. What I am saying is those 9 months drastically helped me. And then since then, I have
Well, you know what? It's hard to tell because you're living exactly the life that you were 10 years ago. Except now you don't have a live-in partner to help you wipe your ass and do the chores and to drive your ass around everywhere.
done on and off therapy, and I've done on and off working on myself, whether it be workbooks or just like the daily journaling. Like, finding coping mechanisms is literally going to change your life if you struggle with BE. Like, it's hard, obviously, but I've improved drastically in that area. Do you ever do the lymphatic massages for your illnesses? So by illnesses, I'm pretty sure they mean my lipedema and lymphedema. And I do, but it is hard to do.
Well, that's funny because you were just bitching how many weeks ago about, "I gained 6 pounds, but it's all water weight, you guys." Pretty sure if you were following the tips and guidelines that your doctor told you to, which would be like a low sodium diet, water intake, daily exercise, and then a lymphatic massage, you wouldn't be having your water weight fluctuating. You wouldn't be talking about, "Guys, I gained 6 pounds in my legs. Oh my God, I lost a pound and I can totally tell the difference."
On your own self. So I do the best I can, but it's not something that I do like religiously because, like I said, it is very hard to do. Like,
Excuse me. Who on this planet would believe that she could reach her legs to give herself a massage? Nobody. Nobody on the planet is going to believe that, Amber. What are you talking about?
by myself. And I'm not going to ask anyone to do it for me because that is my job. Why are you not allowed to be on estrogen? So some cancers actually feed off of estrogen, and the cancer that I was diagnosed with and the stage and grade that it was feeding off of estrogen. Does your mom grocery shop with you? Sometimes. I would say 9 times out of 10 she does, but we both have our own cart.
9 times out of 10? Then why would you answer sometimes? She is just so desperate to paint this picture that she's this strong, independent woman, so different from the same bodies that you see on like 600-pound Life that can't do anything for themselves. Nobody's fooled.
She goes her own way, I go my own way. It's like killing 2 birds with 1 stone because she gets what she needs, I get what I need, and then we usually meet each other out at the car when we're done. Did you order 5 cookies from Cracker Barrel? So Cookie Gate was happening in my live stream, which I literally just ended my live stream. So that just ended and now we're here. I was so confused because people were saying I had 9 cookies and people were saying I had 12 cookies. I was genuinely lost. But I guess it turns out that people saw somewhere that the only way you can order chocolate chip cookies is if you order 5 or 10 at a time, which before I even found that out, I was trying to explain that the only reason why I had a
This is probably the stupidest thing she's ever addressed. Well, one of the stupidest. Like, who cares? If you know that you only had 1 cookie, why even address it? Like, this doesn't matter at all.
chocolate chip cookie was because I was trying to get these like beignets. They just looked and sounded so good at the time. But when I went to order it and then the DoorDasher went to go get it, turns out they didn't have those. And I was like, okay. So I messaged back and I was like, do they have chocolate chip cookies? I'll take one of those. And then they just gave me a chocolate chip
The over-explaining.
cookie. So no, I didn't have 5 or 9 or 12 chocolate chip cookies. I just had 1. All right.
Yeah, because that would be completely out of the realm of your normality. Oh my God.
Let's get into the goals that I had last week. My goal was literally just to look into GLP-1s, and I have done that. So if you haven't watched any of my last videos from the last week, literally I signed up, I did the questionnaire, I was fixing to get approved for a GLP-1, which has been very easy for me in the past. But this company asked about my gallbladder. I told them I had gallstones over a decade ago, and they denied me.
I wonder what the reason is why she isn't just going with the same provider that she had before. Hmm. Interesting.
And I almost gave up, but instead I was like, you know what? I'm going to be an advocate for myself. I genuinely believe the possible reoccurrence of a gallstone is less severe than me staying the size. They did.
I wish she'd shut the hell up about being an advocate for herself. No, being an advocate for yourself would have been, you know, when you were bleeding for 2 years and possibly saying, hey, this probably isn't normal. Even if supposedly the people around you were like, no, it's just because you're big, or oh, it's endometriosis. That's advocating yourself, taking extra steps to make sure you're receiving the care that you need. You trying to abuse the system on a medication that isn't going to help you because you've already tried it 3 different times, and now you're going to try to doctor shop to get a doctor that's going to give you the answer that you want. That's not advocating for yourself, you ignorant ass bitch.
Did not respond to me, so I'm over it. Okay, cool. So that brings me into my goals for this week. My first goal is that I want to talk to my doctor and make an appointment and talk about GLP-1s and see what he thinks. I'm willing to closely monitor my gallbladder if that like will make him feel more safe about putting me on a GLP-1. Number 2, I want to just work on my relationship with food, period. Number 3, stop the daily weigh-ins and just weigh myself once a week. All right, so now
Inpatient treatment. Until she says she's going into inpatient treatment, nothing else matters. Because she's done all this before. She always thinks, oh, well, I can do this, I can do that. No, you can't. You have proven year after year that you cannot do it yourself. Period. She loves the planning. So she loves the idea of getting this GLP-1 because that's going to solve all her problems. But then once the medication comes and it's up to her to actually put a plan into place of eating right, eating less, moving more, she won't do it. That's not the fun part. The fun part is in her freaking mind of what she's going to do in the future. It's always, well, I'll start tomorrow. Oh, well, if I had this, I could do it. No, you can't. Inpatient treatment, period.
Let's talk about how my week went. So last week I was feeling shitty, I was feeling defeated, I was feeling overwhelmed, I was feeling like I was drowning, I was depressed, I was low. I genuinely was not in a good place, and I feel so much better. Like, I feel like I can breathe again. I feel like I have reached the surface of the water and I am no longer drowning. Like, I hate when I reach lows like that because it reflects in all of my life, and I try very hard to put on a smile and to still be positive and happy, and sometimes it's hard. It's a scary feeling, but I feel a lot better, and I'm just very happy about that. So I decided in the middle of last week that I will no longer be doing daily weigh-ins because they were messing with my head. I also decided that I will no longer be counting calories. I will strictly be
Oh my God. Of course. Any and all accountability, she can't handle it. Nope. Nope. Can't do it. She can't do it, you guys. So forget about any kind of accountability. Amber, that just completely plummets her life. God.
focusing on weighing myself once a week while working on my relationship with food. Instead of treating food like it's the problem, the reality is that I'm the problem. Nothing I do
Ding,
regarding
ding, ding, ding,
losing
ding, ding,
weight will
ding.
ever be successful unless I work on that relationship. Losing weight is extremely important. That is how I'm going to save my life. But the only way I can lose
You know, I wonder, like, what would be the steps for her to be like, hey, doctor, can you put me in a coma for like 6 months and just feed me intravenously and let me drop some pounds that way? God. It's sad, but honestly, that would be something that would work for her, and she has no control. I mean, sure, she could eat her way out of it as soon as she wakes up, but
weight is, like I said, working on that relationship with food. So that is going to be my main focus. I'm still going to continue the weigh-ins for you guys every single week, but by working on the relationship, the symptom, which has been the weight gain, that is going to improve, which will then be weight loss. And by working on my relationship with food, I want to use a tool like GLP-1, but on the side, I want to take all the tools that I've ever learned from having a dietitian and outpatient and taking those tools and realizing that food is fuel. You have
yeah, and you could have been doing that all along. So if it was that easy for you to just have that mentality, you would have done it by now. But you can't because there's something inside of you that's broken that you cannot fix.
to eat to live, not live to eat. I still want to enjoy food. I don't want to think of food as a bad. That is where I know that my relationship with food is not going to be good. So by working on my relationship with food, I need to take the actions into doing so. And as I do them, I will talk to you guys more about it. But as of right now, I want to treat my body better. I want to nourish my body the way that we are supposed to. Anyways, I feel like I could talk about this for like 9 million years, so let's move on to the weigh-in. Last week I was 514.2, and this week I was 516.2. In the middle of the week, I did
Oh, what a shocker. You had a weight gain. And here we are again, folks, at the crest of the cycle. She had her little moody period. Oh, I need to change. Oh. Now she's got a new plan. She's gonna get that doctor to give her the GLP-1, and she is bound and determined to fix her relationship with food based on the knowledge that she already possesses. Ooh. Oh my God. This bitch. Said it before. Say it again. Her brain needs to be studied.
get down to 513, so I'm noticing I am just fluctuating right now, and I am
Oh,
not
really?
going
What
to
have
beat
you been
myself up for
doing?
it, because progress isn't just oop, lose weight every single day. Progress is very much lose some, gain some, lose some, gain.
Yep, just keep giving yourself room to fuck up. Just like you always do. Just a built-in excuse for why you can't succeed.
Some. Anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.
We didn't. You're annoying. Well, buckle up, kids, because we're going back around and around and around. I thank you so much for joining me today. I truly, truly appreciate your support with my teeny tiny channel. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.